call our regular, sorry, not our regular meeting, our work session to order here and get started. We don't have any board and commission interviews, so we're gonna just move right along here. Is there anything that anyone would like to review in the regular agenda? I'm gonna take that as a no then, and we will move right along to updates. And we will start with you, Mr. Franklin.
I have nothing to report today, Madam Mayor.
I have no updates either, but I wanted to put it out there to find out if we had a date for a budget discussion to consider what we're going to do with the $300,000 left from the ARPA money that we had. And if anybody would like to talk about that at a future date. So this is the $300,000 that's left from the flood buyout that we had set aside.
I'm okay to put on the schedule to talk about.
Do we have upcoming time for that? Do you?
So I don't,
know?
thank you, Councilwoman Bliss. I don't have the planning calendar in front of me. I'm going to turn to Mr. Peterson because I know we have a budget update. Second meeting in January. So first meeting in January where you'll be getting a budget update at that point. Perhaps council wants to slide that into part of the conversation.
Right, we had that offered as a proposal and then a second person who wanted to do that. So why don't we include that? I would just ask that it not be limited to that particular $300,000, but where we are with the rest of the ARPA funding. I know we put some of it in different places, and let's make sure we're good with everything where we stand, if that's all right with you. Because I'm
That's-
just broadening your request a little bit.
No, I think that's important. So
Okay.
yeah, that sounds like a good.
All
idea.
right, so it sounds like January 2nd.
Ready for me?
I am. I don't want to turn the microphone on and off. So.
The only update I have, Mayor Arnold and I attended the festivities on Saturday with what's the Star
Show started.
Show Starters. They put on a good program for us and sounded good. So it was good to see that activity in the park. So that's about it.
No updates for me.
I'm gonna keep going here and let these two get settled in.
No updates from me.
None for me either, Madam Mayor.
I do have one thing I'd like to mention. I think I mentioned last time about the fantastic job the community did with the Webster Rock Hill Ministries with Thanksgiving. If I didn't say it, we gave away over 250 families. Each family got a box of groceries and a turkey. But now we are facing the Christmas holidays, and we'd like to continue that on with the community. Just continue to give so we can provide the same amount of cheer for those 250 families. It's the third Saturday in December.
No updates.
This is by far the quickest update. I'm sorry, Madam City Clerk. All right, well, I'm going to break the trend here a little bit, and a couple of things. I also enjoyed the Old Orchard Holiday Festival. I don't know if any of you attended, and I did want to say thank you to the staff at Parks and Recreation Department and to Assistant City Manager Peterson. The gazebo park looked great. Unfortunately, as most of you know, our big Christmas tree died, but this was a really great alternative in terms of the way the lights were set up. So thank you to everyone who participated in making that a success. Also Parks and Rec, we did the Blackburn grand opening and ribbon cutting, or reopening, I should say, and that was great and had some kids turn out climbing all over the place. And one thing I didn't know about that park and in the new playground, It is now more than 75% fully accessible, which makes it, I believe, our most accessible playground. And I think that's a great thing going forward. I also had the chance to talk with Mary Queen of Peace first graders. And if you want to be on your toes, get 50 first graders in a room to ask you questions. It was a whole lot of fun. So if you ever get an invitation, take them up on that. And I would encourage everybody to attend the Crossroads Business District Holiday Walk, which is Friday from 4 to 7 p.m. So they'll have special things in shops in and around Crossroads. And they are really making an effort to get into the holiday season with this. So please do stop by. I know that I plan to do that. All right. Usually this is the time where someone forgot something and they now remember this update. No, we're so good with no updates that we're just going to move on. Okay. Well, then we are to the point, there are no appointments to boards and commissions this evening. This is, Chief Curtis, we waited until your very last meeting to be as efficient as we possibly could, because clearly you understand that that's not always how this works. But so we're going to spend some time talking about you now, which I know makes you very comfortable and happy. And for this part of it, I think your preference would be probably to stay seated there rather than come stand in front of us all. Is that a fair assumption on my part? All right.
Yeah, I thought you said this is gonna be a roast.
A roast, yes. Would you like to start off then?
Yeah, if I want to stand up in front of me when I.
No, well, don't worry. He's going to stand up for the proclamation at least.
I
but-
will start.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, and thank the chief for his service this many people.
Yep.
I want to thank the chief for his service this many years. I would say this is one city employee that I have known while I've been a resident of Webster Groves, been over 40 years, always responsive to the community, always responsive to our needs. So I want to thank him for him being very attentive for what the community needed and made a safe environment for all of us. I think he instilled his caring nature to his officers that makes a big difference in having a police force. It's almost a family police force, the way that Chief basically, I'm not going to say ran the department. He coached and nurtured the department to make it very comfortable for the citizens of Webster. Chief, congratulations. Wish you well in your retirement. I don't know if you're going to stay in St. Louis or not, or Webster Groves or not, but, thank you very much.
Are there others who would like to speak or hear? All right.
I just wanted to add my thanks to the chief and just note that your presence in meetings and your presence with us has always been one of grace and of listening. And it's just been really, inspirational, frankly, to have you as part of community leadership. And I just feel like Webster has been really lucky to have not only had you, but to have had you for so long in leadership here. And so thanks for all that you've done for this community, and really do wish you all the best in retirement.
And I'll echo that. Thank you for all your years of service, and thank you from me specifically for when I had my orientation as new council member. I had all sorts of questions, and you had all the answers. They were all like thought out and grounded, and I don't think reassuring is the right way, but like you were definitely somebody that we can trust and put our faith in, and having that kind of steady leadership has just been a real treat, and appreciate all of your input and guidance. Even though I've only been working with you for a couple of years, I really do appreciate, and I can see how you've really shaped the department, and that they're in good hands as you move on.
And I had the opportunity of working with you, Chief, when we started out the Police Community Engagement Board. And you really helped us feel our way through that, what that was going to look like, and just giving us some direction on what we were doing. So Again, I don't have the length of time that many people do, but what I've had, I've really enjoyed and appreciated getting to know you and respect the job you've done. And we'll miss you.
I think, like Emerson, I had the chance to interact with Chief Curtis prior to getting on council. I think my first memory is as a Boy Scout, him coming to talk to us. So.
Oh, that's a low blow.
But in all honesty, I think that we have a remarkable staff here, and I think the chief has led the way, especially after a number of years here. His ability to communicate not only with council members, but also with the community at large, and to understand and to comprehend what people are trying to say. If you put in context his years of service, especially over the past decade, and the difficulty and the issues that policing in this nation have arisen, I think the chief has really steered this department and this city very well. And it is a bittersweet moment to know that he's leaving us. And I think that we are better for his service here in this community, and we're going to be a little bit worse off without him here on a daily basis. So thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Chief. I agree. You've been given us a good sense of balance and reason and how to weigh all the points before making a decision. And you're also very good at standing and answering our questions so quickly and impromptly. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I would. As a citizen, Chief, I'd like to thank you for your years of service. I'm grateful for what you have brought to the community, and you've made this a safe and comfortable place to live. As a professional for 42 years who's been involved in policing, I have known police chiefs. I have seen police chiefs. You, sir, are a police chief, and I thank you for what you've done.
Yes, thank you. Chief Curtis. It has been such a pleasure to work with him over these last 3 years. I think Councilwoman Richardson said grace, and I would agree. The grace in which he navigates difficult staff issues, community issues, national issues. It's been a pleasure not only to work with him, but to learn from him. He's going to be incredibly missed. And if you guys want to hear the roast part, that will be at the director's meeting tomorrow. So we're gonna, but he's, what he has brought and continues to give to the police department, the organization, and the community is priceless. So thank you so much.
Chief, we're gonna do your proclamation at the regular meeting. Gonna hear from Mayor Welch as well about your years of service. I wanted to focus for a couple of minutes on what I appreciate most about you, and that's how you go about your work. And I wrote it down because it was a jumble of thoughts in my mind, but I don't know if you remember, it's a little over 6 years ago. I arrived at your office. I was about to start my run for council, and I wanted to know everything about the police department. And I asked a bunch of questions, and you patiently answered every one of them, even the dumb ones, and there were some dumb ones in there. But then we started talking more about other things in life, and we bonded a little bit about basketball when you told me you had been a basketball referee. And I have since then realized that that helps me understand so much about how you do your job. Because a good referee runs a game fairly and efficiently. They enforce the rules while also allowing the players to shine and demonstrate their skills on the court. The best referees never seek attention for themselves and are happiest when the game goes on and people don't know them, even though they have a huge impact on how well that game is played. And I feel like that's a little bit about how you have approached your leadership of our police department. And that is, it never has to be about you. It always has to be about doing the right thing and the fair thing and keeping in mind what this community needs and wants from the police department and what your officers need and want. And that is, to me, truly amazing, because when you don't seek the limelight, you never hesitate to step in and clarify or explain or make sure we understand what's going on in this community. And so I also appreciate that I know you know every rule and you've explained to me processes and procedures and the law many times, but I appreciate that you're not rigid in that. You're thinking about how this community needs flexibility sometimes as well. And so that the evolution of how policing happens, you've been open to that while actually maintaining really high standards. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And I'm grateful for your broader service to our community and your steadfast leadership. And so thank you for all of that. It's just been really an honor to serve with you. We're going to take a little break now that we've had the chance to say our nice things so that you now personally can address the chief. So we're going to go into the conference room and have some cake, a beautiful cake with the department shield on it. So see if you can get a look before it gets cut. And then we will come back, begin our regular meeting. And as I said, Mayor Welch will have a few comments to make, and then we'll have a proclamation where you'll really get to hear the list of accolades. And we only did a 1-page proclamation. It could have been like a 5-page proclamation, but we also know he doesn't want to stand here that long. So we tried to abide by your wishes, Chief, as well. So let's recess for a few minutes here. We'll start the regular meeting at 7:15, which gives us lots of time for everyone to congratulate the chief on great service to our community. Well, technically, oh, and there it is. Well, welcome to the December 4th regular meeting of the City Council. We welcome questions, ideas, and comments. What? What did I say? Oh, it's December 5th. Excuse me. Thank you, David. Now, we welcome comments. We'd ask you to limit them to 3 minutes. If you'd like to make a comment, please fill out a speaker's card, which are over there on the table by the door. If you are on Zoom and would like to make a comment, we'd ask you to use the raise your hand function when we get to that portion of the meeting. Please limit those remarks to 3 minutes. And so we will begin this meeting with our ongoing celebration of Chief Curtis and his retirement. But first, we're going to have to call the roll.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor Arnold,
Here.
Councilmember Bruless.
Here.
Councilmember Franklin.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Alexander.
Here.
Councilmember Richardson.
Here.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd.
Here.
All right, Chief Curtis, for this portion of our events tonight, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to come on up here. And we would like to welcome former Mayor Jerry Welch, who is with us, who would like to make some comments.
Thank you.
And then we'll continue with all the lovely other things we have for you.
Good, you're center stage here. So I'm here tonight to say thank you to you, Dale, for your excellent service, because we've had the good fortune in this city to have you oversee one of the most fundamental services of this city. I wanted to say a few words tonight because we go back together for decades, since the year that Milton Matthews, in his wisdom in 1997, hired you. And over the last few decades, I've witnessed the work of you, a man that I really admire. And I've also heard from so many people at the state level and the regional level who have said how fortunate we are in Webster Groves to have you as our police chief. So Dale is a man of impeccable integrity, and his fundamental values of professionalism, respect, and thoughtfulness have guided our police department over all these years. This community has benefited from having you as a police chief, and this community is grateful. You know, the responsibilities that come with being on a police force are enormous. Officers deal with people at their most vulnerable. They put their lives at risk, and all of this to ensure that ordinary people like you and I are safe. None of us really know what it is to be a police officer because we don't experience those heartbreaking events that the officers often face. It takes a lot of strength and integrity and grit and training to be a good officer, but that's not enough. To be a good police department takes good leadership and a good police chief who sets the tone for the department in the community. And Dale, you were that leader. Dale was dedicated to hiring people men and women who would be an asset to this community. And he always ensured that they were trained and that they acted professionally. And if they didn't, he fired them. So thank you, Dale. Thank you for your dedication to excellence in police work. We're a fortunate community. We've lived well in this town under your umbrella. Thank you for providing excellence in the most fundamental need of this city, good policing and good safety. So enjoy your retirement. Know that you did a fabulous job and you are and were greatly appreciated. So in admiration, good luck.
Thank you very much, Mayor Welch. You still have to stand here. I think our city clerk and those who helped did a masterful job whittling down to one page, only a small bit of the accolades that you have earned and so well deserved. So here's our proclamation. Whereas Police Chief Dale Curtis joined the city of Webster Groves in 1997, and he earned an MA degree with a double major in management and human relations from Webster University, and is a graduate of the FBI National Academy. He served as chair of the St. Louis Area Police Chiefs Association, as chair of the St. Louis Regional Computer Education and Enforcement Group, was a member on the executive board of the St. Louis County and Municipal Drug Task Force, and he was a member of the International Chiefs of Police, Missouri Police Chiefs Association, and the FBI National Academy Associates. And whereas under his leadership, the police department received certification from the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement Agencies in 2004 and has been reaccredited ever since. He implemented new programs and technology that enhanced the safety of our community, including mobile data terminals, in-car videos, body cameras, and the automated vehicle locating system. During his tenure, the police department went under a complete remodel, and he was instrumental in the cooperation agreement with 4 municipalities for a prisoner transport unit, and in the consolidation of the Public Safety Communications Center with seven other municipalities. And whereas, because of his efforts, in 2020, Webster Groves was named safest city in Missouri by the National Council for Home Safety and Security. And more recently, Chief Curtis was the staff liaison to the Police Community Engagement Board, building positive relationships between the police department and the community. Chief Curtis leaves us with years of progressive and valuable leadership, and his contributions have been invaluable. Chief Curtis, you will be missed by the department, by city staff, by city officials, and by the entire community. Now, therefore, I, Laura Arnold, Mayor of the City of Webster Groves, on behalf of the entire City Council, wish to thank and honor Dale Curtis for his many years of dedicated service, and do hereby proclaim Friday, December 8th, 2023, as Dale Curtis Day in the City of Webster Groves. Captain Perks.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief, I don't know how I can follow both of those. First, I want to say it is humbling and absolutely an honor to be here. I'm gonna choke up, boss. Those of you who don't know, in 1997, Chief Curtis took a chance on a 22-year-old kid, and he hired him to be a police officer here, and that kid was me. And now here I get the honor of honoring this man at his retirement ceremony and taking over the department for you in an interim status, but still, it's incredible. Chief, you have been a pillar of St. Louis law enforcement for almost 50 years. You have inspired, led, encouraged more officers, more people than you know. This department, this city, we are absolutely grateful to your service, to your dedication and commitment and your overall just being Dale Curtis, the chief of police. I mean, it's an absolute incredible stories. On behalf of the department, sir, we want to give you your official retirement badge. Go out, golf, enjoy. You've earned it. You've done your service to this community, this region, and this state. Thank you for all you've done, sir.
All right, we're not quite finished yet. Council, would you like to come down and join me in presenting Chief Curtis with a few gifts? Who knows what to get you? One of the things is a traditional gift. If you would grab that is your sign, because somewhere in that house in Florida, there must be a place to mark Curtis Lane. And then do you want to grab that and talk to him? And what do you get a golfer who probably has things that he needs? Well, we got you some new special golf balls. We won't pull those out, but they all have this logo of the city of Webster Groves on them. But most importantly, we have the exclusive Dale Curtis ball markers, so you'll never get confused with anyone else about which is your ball on the green. These have his face on them. So here you go.
Put these on the shelf, otherwise it'll be.
So thank you all for being here with us to celebrate Chief Curtis. This is the time in the meeting. We'd love for you to continue and stay with us through the remainder of our meeting. But if there's anyone who might like to go do something else with the rest of their evening, none of us will take offense. All right, we have come to our portion of the agenda for remarks for the community and visitors. Chief Curtis, Chief, could you stay just 1 minute? I think you might want to hear this first remarks of visitor from Mr. Dave Buck.
Oh, no.
Dale, you have the right to remain silent.
I'm here on behalf of the 23,000 residents of Webster Groves. First of all, just some personal comments. I've lived here 23 years, and Chief Curtis has never once called me Dave. Always, always Mr. Buck, and I've always taken that as a sign of his respect for all of the residents. Secondly, as I have a city council, I occasionally send in a few ideas on how to improve policing in Webster Groves. Not one of them has been adopted, but without fail, Dale always writes me back, and it's not a little one line, thanks for the ideas, Mr. Buck. He sends me back a comprehensive email with my idea, his opinion on it, and then why it won't work. And that's what I call responsive government. Lastly, Chief Curtis and I are the same age. We're 39, you know that? We're both 70. And interestingly enough, we share a common interest in singing because 52 years ago, I starred as the lead male character Tevye in our high school musical production of Fiddler on the Roof. Roughly 52 years ago, Dale played the lead male character Emile, the Frenchman, in his high school musical production of South Pacific. And he sang an iconic song, very familiar, and I'm going to share it with him and you tonight. Some of the lyrics have been changed a little bit to protect the innocent. But it's our farewell on this enchanted evening. Some enchanted evening, Webster saw a stranger. Webster saw a stranger across a crowded room, and somehow we knew even then, that somehow we'd see him again and again. Some enchanted evening, he loved policing. He loved policing across a crowded room. He stood for the blue and always walked tall. He could be our leader and protect us all. Who can explain it? Who can tell us why? Fools give us reasons, wise men never try. Some enchanted evening, we found our new chief. When he heard us calling across a crowded room, we flew to his side and made him our own. And for 26 years, we have never been alone. Webster once found him, but now must let him go. Webster once found him, but now must let him go.
I'm sorry to say someone must follow that. And so Peg, your card to the next one. So Peg Pedersen, please. You'll come to the microphone and give your address.
I am not a public speaker, but I am a dedicated citizen. My name is Peg Peterson. I live at 819 Coldbrook Drive. I've lived in Webster for 70 years, and I recently moved to Coldbrook Drive. I thank Madam Mayor and City Council for listening to me. There's a rising concern among the Coldbrook Drive property owners and owners of property on the surrounding streets, Carmel, Innisfell, Chestnut, and Pine Tree. Of the $22.1 million proposed in the destination Webster Groves potential projects, $17 million is proposed to be spent behind our street. Our concerns center around traffic noise, traffic safety, and parking. With elimination of the school district parking, walking, biking, and parking will be increased exponentially on our streets. We are asking city leaders to pay attention now to the wider impact of these greatly used and appreciated community enhancements. As citizens, we cherish our great schools and amenities, lovely trees, and quiet neighborhoods. So please consider our neighborhood as these projects move forward. We urge you to, one, support the traffic calming recommendations put forth by TrailNets, a very old and trusted partner of the city. Two, renew or agree upon shared parking with the school district. And three, support installation of a sidewalk up the west side of Colebrook around Glendale to Elm. I thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Next speaker card I have is AF Merrims.
Ashley Merrims. I live on Colebrook. Privacy reasons, don't want to give the exact number, but I'm sure you know exactly which house is mine. Let's see, Peg and I have a petition here signed by 32 residents supporting the traffic calming measures that we'd like to implement. Just want to be a participatory in the process of forward thinking and planning on the impact that the destination Webster Groves on the agenda tonight, how it will impact us and the surrounding neighborhood. We did the math. It's rounding up by $100,000, $18 million just on the city property. So there are $10 million spent by the school district in Proposition S money, and a $200,000 sidewalk is 0.0007% of the overall money that's going to be spent directly behind our street. So adding a $2 million open air theater would be great, but where are those visitors going to park? How are they going to get safely from parking on our street and we have no sidewalks to a $2 million open air theater? So I would like a sidewalk, please. My official request, please. And I would also like a traffic circle at Innisfail and Colebrook. Thank you.
Right, thank you. I know that we got an electronic copy of that with the TrailNet letter. Is that the same?
I have many more signatures since then, but I can submit it however you would like.
Whatever is easiest for you to submit it, why don't you make sure we get a copy of that as
Great,
well?
we'll
So
do
it's
that.
part of the public record here.
Sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Should I, city clerk?
I have no more speaker cards, so if there's anyone in the room who wants to speak, you need to quickly fill out a speaker card. And then I will ask if there is anyone on Zoom, if you'll use the raise your hand function, we will give you a chance to speak. All right, I don't see any hands, so I'm going to think that we can move on here. Is there any new business from council members, city attorney, city manager? All right, we'll go on to our unfinished business. Councilwoman Hickson Shepherd, could you call for the third reading of bill number 3240, please?
Yes, Mayor. Wait, 9240?
Is that not what I said? That's what I meant. I'm having trouble with numbers
No,
tonight,
it's okay. I
apparently.
just wanted to confirm. Yes, Mayor, I'd like to call for the third and final reading of bill number 9240.
Bill 9240, third and final reading. An ordinance calling for a general obligation bond election in the city of Webster Groves, Missouri for the purpose of funding various park and recreational improvements in the city and authorizing certain actions in connection therewith.
All right, is there any discussion?
Can we just kind of make the point that even though we're deciding on an amount to put on the ballot, that amount is not fully designated? Like, there's still room there to make changes to what we're spending that on. Just in case those items come back up, I just wanted to make sure we made that point that we're not sort of designating specifically what all of that money is going to, aside from the parks and recreation area.
Right. Are there other additional comments? I'd just like to say thanks for the comments and,
Yes.
reminding us of the bordering neighborhoods there. And I'm gonna ask the city manager, put her on a spot a little bit. My
Sure.
understanding is we do fully expect when the parking lot is finished at the school district to continue continue the shared parking arrangement.
That's exactly right.
Okay,
That
I just
question
want to
has
make
been
sure I was
asked
right on that.
By the school district.
I'm sorry, not during the meeting, but I can call you tomorrow and we can talk about it. But yeah, just as a matter of procedure. Or we can talk after too, either way. All right, so I believe no further discussion. All right, please call for the vote.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander, Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to new business. You all received in your packet, and you do have your bound copy of their Charter Review Advisory Board recommendations. Today's topic, or we have two topics. One is the preamble to the charter. The Charter Review Advisory Board has recommended that we add some language to the end of the preamble, which you can see is underlined or highlighted. And if you look at the CRAB findings, recommendations, this language is in part recommended because of the model charter that they reviewed as a group. And the idea here is that there's some elements of our preamble that were missing from the National Civic League's model charter suggestions. And so really all it adds is, by this action, we secure the benefits of home rule and affirm the values of representative democracy, professional management, effective leadership, community engagement, regional cooperation, diversity, and inclusiveness. And the idea was to add some of those values that we have identified to the preamble. Any thoughts?
I think this looks great. Yes.
It's a
I
good
think this
change.
makes sense.
I like it.
Yep, good.
Okay, so I'm gonna take that as we would like to instruct the city attorney to draft some language for a proposed ballot item on this. I
Yes.
can't remember. Have we been formally moving and voting for those things or just by consensus?
We actually have been, I think, haven't we?
All
Katie?
right.
No, not on that part. No.
Not yet.
Because you
Not
will
until we get
ultimately
the
on the
language.
ordinance.
Yeah,
Not until we get the language.
Okay.
All right.
Yes. I beg your
Okay, so
pardon.
we then, Mr. City Attorney, would like for you to draft us some language on the charter issue
Yes, ma'am.
of the preamble. We have bill number, and the second item here is bill number 9241. I'm going to ask council if we could hold on to that. It is the formal language that the city attorney has drafted for the other Charter Review Advisory Board recommendations. Until we know what we have in terms of the number that we want to consider for the April ballot, we probably don't want to vote to send anything there. We may have more items than we're comfortable with putting on a single ballot. We may want to prioritize in some way. So I'd like to simply hold that until we have a chance for the city attorney to also draft. And you know what? I forgot one thing, but hold it until we can draft. I forget, if we can go back to the Charter Review Advisory Board for 1 second. Is there anyone who would like to raise any issue that was not presented by the Charter Review Advisory Board for consideration to go to the ballot? That was the other item that was on our discussion there. You'll have another chance at our next meeting, but we'd like to go ahead and identify that soon if we could, so that we do have the breadth of number of items we may be considering for the ballot.
Mayor, you did have an item in one of your memos. Did you want to-
I use that as an example, and I have decided I do not want to go forward at this time with that. That was illustrative only, because I need to do some more homework first, is the bottom line. But thank you, just in case I forgot my own. I'm having one of those nights, so it was nice of you to do that. All right. Are we okay then, postponing Bill 9241 for our next meeting?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Okay, we're gonna move on to the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, if I would like to remove resolution 2023-56 from the consent agenda and add it to our regular agenda for a roll call vote.
All right, does anyone object to that? Oh, sorry. Okay, without objection, because we'll go ahead and vote on that. We don't need a roll call vote on that, right? We can do that by acclamation here. Okay.
Then I would also request to remove something else from the consent agenda. And that would be resolution 2023-55, and that is just to call out some details about how that came to be.
I'll second it.
Okay, we've got one motion already, so
Oh,
let's deal with
sorry.
the resolution 2023-56, and then we will deal with resolution 2023-55. So resolution 2023-56 is the authorizing the city manager to execute the collective bargaining agreement with the IAFF Local 2665, which I want to tell you, I'll just make a really brief statement here. I'm very pleased that we're enacting this agreement tonight. I know my colleagues are as we begin a new chapter in our partnership with the firefighters. It's exciting. And while I think we'd all like to discuss the new collective bargaining agreement tonight, Shop Steward Andy Prinster, as well as District Vice President John Youngblood, were unable to be here tonight. They will join us at our meeting December 19th. And out of respect for both sides, we're looking forward to a spirit of collaboration. So we're going to celebrate the agreement together at our next meeting rather than really delve into anything today. But we did want to make sure that we had a roll call vote on that particular issue. So is everyone ready for us to go ahead and vote?
Yes.
All right, so I need a motion to adopt the resolution now. We've removed it from the consent agenda.
Madam Mayor, I'd like to move to adopt resolution 2023-56.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? All right, let's have that vote then, please.
Councilmember Franklin,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss.
Yes.
All right, resolution 2023.56 is adopted. Councilmember Bliss, you wanted to highlight some things in resolution 2023-55.
Yes. I just wanted to acknowledge the efforts of the Sustainability Commission and the work with Mr. Peterson and finally getting the Green Dining District underway. It's something they've been talking about for a while. So essentially what this is doing is this creating a collective of restaurants within Webster Groves that can receive grants towards making their businesses more sustainable. And there's two types of grants. One is simply for everyday use of material items. That's a $1,000 grant. And then the other one is more money, and that's for more energy efficiency within their operations. Again, and then these grants are made possible through money that council set aside from the ARPA funds. Oh, and here is a flyer, just so you know. And so every citywide, all restaurants and dining establishments within the city will be allowed to apply for grants. And then the oversight comes through the Green Dining Alliance. So it's kind of a win. We get the benefits from the work they're doing to help us.
That's great.
That's it.
Excellent. So you wanted to highlight some of that? May we continue? Can we vote on that within the consent agenda now?
Yes, I'm finished.
All right. So then would you like to move for the adoption of the consent agenda?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to move that for the adoption of resolution 2023-55.
Actually, would you mind moving for the entire consent agenda?
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not hear that. I did, but I didn't.
We just have to vote once that way.
Very good. Okay, Mayor, I'd like to move for the adoption and the approval of the consent agenda.
Thank you.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander,
Yes.
Councilmember Richardson,
Yes.
Councilmember Hickson Shepherd,
Yes.
Mayor Arnold,
Yes.
Councilmember Bliss,
Yes.
Councilmember Franklin.
Yes.
All right, we have no appointments to boards and commissions, and we do not have a closed session. And no one mess with our karma right now, because I believe we may be adjourned.